Hi, this is Trey Passer, and this is a video response to the 13th Wolfman. I was watching this video, and he had he usually have a top 5 list. He usually does that on a regular basis, which is why I love his channel. Okay, I'll leave a link to his channel down below, and please sub to him. He's a great guy. He asked for the top 5 most cherished classic horror movies in your collection. Okay, I decided to do a video response, and here's my 5 here. And I'll go through it real quick. Okay, the first movie is the one that started the slasher genre, as far as I'm concerned. Halloween, the classic John Carpenter, starring Jamie Lee Curtis. Just everything about this movie is just fantastic. Between that opening shot of the young Michael Myers stabbing his sister, and them pulling the mask off his face, and then him breaking out of the insane asylum and stuff. Going back to the house. Just terrorizing the, and not making it, the original, The Shape, I think that was his original name, was The Shape, nickname was The Shape. Michael Myers, just a fantastic movie. Just the atmosphere, everything about it. Donald Pleasance is great as the Dr. Loomis, hunting Michael Myers. It's just a fantastic movie, and that's one in my, not in number order or anything, but that's one of my favorite most cherished things in my collection. Okay, the next thing is a movie directed by Ridley Scott. Okay, yeah, this is the Alien anthology actually, with all 4 movies in it. But I'm just talking about the Alien movie itself. The very first one, directed by Ridley Scott. And actually, I guess Aliens 2 would be, because by your criteria, this movie, Aliens 2 came out in '86, so I think it meets your criteria. Got to be at least 27 years old. Okay, yeah, 27 years. Or maybe it doesn't. Okay, doesn't matter. I'm not to talk about the second Aliens movie. Just the first one. The very first one with Sigourney Weaver, Tom Skerritt, Yaphet Kotto, Veronica Cartwright, and John Hurt. Just everything about this first movie is just great and Ian Holm is in it too. Just everything about it, just the atmosphere. That first scene, where you see the creature, popping out of John Hurt's chest. Just, Veronica Cartwright. If you really want to see terror, just look at Veronica Cartwright's face in this movie. She just perfectly conveys the absolute terror that they're going through in this movie. And this movie, the atmosphere, and down to the last scene with Sigourney Weaver in the Alien itself, just absolutely fantastic. That's why the original Alien is just a classic horror to me. Okay, it's horror in space, basically. Okay, and so that's my number 2 movie. The third movie is an all-time classic, probably on everybody's top 10 list of horror movies, and that would be The Exorcist. This is the digibook. Okay, of course, and just William Friedkin. Just everything about this movie is just Linda, the possession, that classic iconic shot right there of the Max von Sydow looking up at the house, and Linda Blair's possession. Just I can't watch this movie with the lights off. I fully admit that I cannot watch this movie. Just creeps me out. Just something about her being possessed. It just creeps me all the way out. It's just a great movie, great horror movie, and you feel so much for Linda Blair. You just want her suffering to end. It's just beyond anything. That's why this movie is just a classic, and I just can't say anything more about it. It is just that. Okay, and that's number 3 on my list. And number 4 on my list is a VHS. I have this on VHS. I don't have it on DVD. This is The Horror of Dracula. Okay, this is the original first appearance of Christopher Lee as Dracula. Okay, and Peter Cushing is in it also as Van Helsing, chasing him throughout this movie. And this movie is just fantastic. Christopher Lee is just amazing as Dracula. Just tall, imposing, just evil. Okay, and the last 5 minutes of this movie, 5 or 6. Well, the last 5 or 6 minutes of this movie, where Peter Cushing is chasing Dracula, is just fantastic and worth the price of admission alone. Just the sequence of them tracking down, Van Helsing and I think I forgot the guy's name whose wife Dracula's kidnapped. They're chasing him down, and Peter Cushing is chasing off. He's chasing Dracula into his castle, and he's just just the music, the atmosphere. Peter Cushing versus Christopher Lee. You can't get more iconic than that, and it's just a great movie. Okay, so that's my number 4 in my most cherished horror collection. And number 5 is one movie I've talked about before. Okay, and this is actually part of an anthology set, the Universal anthology set where they released, all the movies for Dracula, Frankenstein, and of course my personal favorite, the 1941 version of The Wolfman. Okay, I absolutely love this movie. I've talked about it before in other videos and stuff, but I absolutely love this movie. Lon Chaney, to me, back then, of course, they didn't nominate horror movies for Academy Awards, although I think there was somebody that actually won, which I can't remember now. But Lon Chaney, to me, deserved an Academy Award for his performance as the Wolfman. He was just, you feel so much for his character when he's going through. Like I said, he's an innocent man who returns home after the death of his brother to his family in some English town, and he's supposed to, he's reconciling with his father, and he's just, back to reconnect with his father and his family, and he meets a young girl, who's actually engaged, and he actually, he flirts with her and everything else, and they're out on at a carnival, and he's, they're having a good time and everything else, and then all of a sudden, a girl gets attacked, and he goes to do the normal thing. He goes to help, and he actually gets bitten by what he thinks is a wolf, which is actually a wolf man, and from then on, he's forever cursed as the Wolfman. And this movie is just, like I said, Lon Chaney Jr.'s performance is absolutely stunning. And just, from his initial disbelief that anything's happened to him, he recovers, and then he goes to the gypsy camp. And when he finds out from the gypsy Maliva that her son Bela was a werewolf, and he's the werewolf that bit him, and now that he's dead, the curse passes on to Lon Chaney. And he first disbelieves, and then from that first scene when you see he goes home and he's all alone, he takes off his shoes and stuff, then all of a sudden you see his legs get hairy, and then all of a sudden you see that iconic shot of him crawling through the through the fog in the woods, and then you see the camera pans up slowly, and then you see him fully as the Wolfman. That's just a fantastic shot, and you hear the wolf growls, and from then on he attacks his first victim at the gravesite, the gravedigger at his gravesite. It's just an iconic movie, and there's the back, and you can see that shot of him right. Let's see, right there, up there, attacking standing over his first victim. And it's just a fantastic movie. Okay, and Lon Chaney and you feel so much for him. And once he realizes what he is, he tries to, he's basically trying to plead with his father and everything else, and disbelieving that he's, and just thinking, he's just tortured. And Lon Chaney Jr.'s performance, and this is just, to me, it's Oscar worthy. His performance is just fantastic, and that's another one of my most cherished horror movies in my collection. Okay, so there you go. Thank you, 13th Wolfman, for having this bring up another top 5 list, which I truly appreciate it. So that's mine. Feel free to leave comments on what you think of my choices down below. And this is Trey Passer saying so long and take care.